I have to remind myself that it is the first snowfall and you have to get into your winter driving habits.
Right now at 4, the snow is back. We'll show you the impact it had on western New York's commutes this morning.
Yeah, storm system has moved on out. We do have a few lighter lake effect snow showers we're tracking this afternoon. We'll let you know where those are heading tonight and what to expect this weekend coming up in your forewarned forecast.
And a worker at a senior living facility in Buffalo is now accused of stealing from them. Charges she's facing and how much time she could spend in jail.
From the station with the most local news, this is News 4 at 4.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us on News 4 at 4. I'm Christy Kern. In your top 4 at 4, overnight snow and ice made for a slick and messy commute this morning. News 4's Angela Cristoforo shows us some of the conditions drivers had to deal with this morning.
Plows worked through the night to clear snow-covered roads. A mix of snow and sleet led to icy conditions in some spots. A driver saw that firsthand after sliding off Milestrip Road in Hamburg into this ditch.
I saw one car off the road on 219, but I also saw 2 state troopers along the way. And
for the most part, main roads like the 90 and 219 were cleared in time for the morning commute, but drivers were still advised to take it slow.
I have to remind myself that it is the first snowfall and you have to get into your winter driving habits.
Snow began tapering off by mid-morning in some spots, but in places like Springville, people still had several inches of snow to dig out of.
Our snowblower just is dead, so I've got to do some by hand. But thankfully, we have a all-wheel drive vehicle, so we'll be able to get out.
Despite an inconvenient early snow appearance, some folks say it's a welcome sight.
When you see the fires out west and the hurricanes in the south and the devastation and 1,000 homes gone, we can shovel some snow.
Some snow and maybe a mix of rain is also on its way tomorrow afternoon, but fortunately not nearly as much as we saw today. In North Buffalo, Angela Cristoforos, News 4.
Angela, thank you. And a lot of you sent us pictures of what the snow looks like in your backyard. Jeff sent us these pictures from Silver Lake. You can see there were almost whiteout conditions in that area. Take a look at that. And Tracy braved the elements in Bolivar and snapped this picture showing the snow piling up to 11 inches. Wow. And of course, we want to see your photos. You can email them to us at reportit@wivb.com. And let's check in with forewarned meteorologist Andrew Begley for a look at your forecast now. Andrew, we are heading into the weekend, and I know that we are still keeping our eyes on some of this that's going to start back up.
Yeah, we're going to have nothing compared to what we saw yesterday throughout this weekend, Christy. It's sort of just kind of nuisance variety showers, snow showers, occasional few and far between type of stuff, and minimal accumulation. So really any plans? Pretty okay as far as the weather goes. It's still going to be white out there in many spots, though. Thanks to the recent snowfall, we are going to keep that chilly weather in place throughout the weekend, with temperatures staying largely in the 30s. Taking a look, though, down at the thruway around Hamburg, we've got a little bit of water on the lens here, but you can still see it's a little slushy out there as we've got a lake effect band kind of around the south towns right now coming off of Lake Erie. Likely seeing snow in many areas, but closer to the lakeshore, we may see a little bit of a few raindrops mixing in, maybe a little bit of sleet, not out of the question, as some of the warmer temperatures over the lake again causing a bit of that mix, perhaps near the thruway, Route 20. So keep that in mind. Route 5 as well, if your evening commutes take you there. Maybe some slowdowns because of that. Again, not quite the same impacts we saw yesterday, but still enough to slow you down just a bit. Temperatures outside are chilly in many areas, still below freezing. Down around Olean, 28 at the airport, 30 over towards Jamestown and Springville, 34 here in Buffalo, just a couple degrees above freezing, enough that some of that snow has been melting and kind of making a bit of a slushy mess out there. So a pair of boots, maybe not a bad idea for your Friday night plans. We do have a gusty breeze, though, we've been dealing with this afternoon. Some gusts into the 20s, even 30 miles an hour up towards Niagara Falls. This should gradually back off very slowly throughout the course of this evening. It's enough to keep wind chills down in the 20s, though, so we are looking at a pretty chilly Friday night. And by the way, that lake effect snow band in the south towns will be drifting back towards ski country tonight with some additional coatings, maybe at most an inch or two in the hills toward the Chautauqua Ridge by morning, but really not really expecting much more than that. that. Very manageable amounts throughout tonight. Still take it easy on the roads. Again, it's a little slushy out there, and we could be dealing with some patchy, icy spots in the hills. We get into the 20s. We should stay in the 30s and even above freezing here around Buffalo. Coming up in your full forewarned forecast, we'll take a look at the rest of the weekend and what to expect if you're doing some Thanksgiving traveling next week. Christy?
Thank you. And remember, you can get the latest forecasts in the palm of your hand anytime. Just download our News 4 app. It has the latest news, weather, sports, traffic, and more. And it is free for your phone or your tablet. Traffic is back to normal along Route 5 in the town of Hamburg. Crews shut down part of the road when a power pole fell. Happened just before 9:30 this morning. You can see crews were on the scene to clean it up. The road reopened within an hour. New at 4, UB police say they've made an arrest in connection to a hit and run on the school's North Campus. They say a 20-year-old woman from Singapore was hit on Hadley Road on November 1st. She is still recovering at ECMC. The driver is charged with leaving the scene. Police are still investigating. Buffalo police say a man has died at ECMC after a shooting earlier this week. They say the 31-year-old victim was shot on Sun Street Tuesday night. His name has not yet been released, and police are still searching for the shooter. If you have any information, you are asked to call police at 847-2255. A Buffalo woman who worked at a senior living facility is now charged with stealing from them. Rhonda Henderson was in charge of helping residents pay bills and buy groceries at St. John Tower. That is on Michigan Avenue. Police say she stole more than $50,000 from them over the course of 3 years. She's facing charges including identity theft and grand larceny. She's set to be back in court in January, and she could spend up to 7 years in jail if convicted. News 4's Jen Shantz is hearing from the district attorney about this case coming up tonight on News 4 at 5. A Batavia woman is behind bars accused of forcing a child to smoke pot. Police charged Heidi Harder with criminal use of drug paraphernalia and child endangerment. They say she forced a child younger than 12 years old to use the drug. Work is ramping up at Tesla, and for the first time, we're able to see the inside of that huge facility at the Riverbend site in South Buffalo. 800 people are employed at the Tesla facility. It is the only plant in the country to manufacture a special solar roof that looks like standard roofing for your home. Alex Finnerty of Lockport has been working there for 7 months.
It's definitely a good conversation starter. People think I'm a lot more interesting because of it. It's definitely a huge name, so for it to come to Buffalo is a big deal, and people are definitely excited that I'm working here.
News 4's George Rickard takes an inside look at the $750 million Tesla facility tonight, coming up on News 4 at 5 and 6. Next on News 4 at 4, spreading holiday cheer. I'll tell you the way some Western New Yorkers made a place for patients in Buffalo feel just like home.
I want to give them that magic that is hearing yourself on headphones for the first time. Like, that is a spiritual experience.
And a Grammy-winning artist is helping teens develop skills for a career in hip-hop. They're also getting paid for it. We'll have that story coming up after the break.